When did you start to knit and why?
The very first time I started to knit was when I was in high school for a boyfriend, and I lost interest very quickly because he was not my boyfriend for long. So the project went unfinished, and in fact, I didn't like the project at all. I didn't even like knitting, really. But I started it up, I guess, 10 years later, 10 or 11 years later, with the sole purpose to do something different. It was to wrap the door handle to my shop, and that was the very beginning for me. And I revisited knitting, and I loved it. I had a passion for it, whereas before I didn't have a real passion for it. But through the eyes of Knit Graffiti, I completely fell in love with it.
Why and when did you understand that your passion will become a full-time activity?
That's an interesting question, because when do we know? I mean, to me, doing that door handle was the most unambitious thing I have ever done. I did not do the door handle and go, oh my God, I'm going to change my life. No, it was my door handle. People were interested in it. Then I did the stop sign pole outside of this, the door handle, or after the door handle, and people went like crazy for it. And then I did every stop sign pole, and that's when I knew, like, I love this. And I wasn't paid to do it at all back then. And then it just started like this snowball effect where everybody started doing it very quickly through the world of the internet. People saw pictures, and then they started doing it in their parts of the world, and all of a sudden people were crediting me as the founder of yarn bombing, or the founder of Knit Graffiti. So I was loving my new role, my new title. It was cool.
What means street art for you?
I think that street art has come at a perfect time when I think all of us are maybe a little bit frustrated with the way our urban environments are going. You know, if it's development, if it's in the way that industry is taken over, we see less trees, less parks, and more parking lots, and more buildings, and parking garages, and more cars. So I think that even if you're not being very conscious about it, sometimes you just want to put a message out there. It doesn't even have to be political. I just think that there's a sense of ownership about your environment when you can put something that has your own signature to it. And if people react to it, then you've created this interesting dialogue with strangers, with people that live side by side with you. So I think it's very human, the way that street art works.
Have you ever done an illegal performance?
Everything that I have done in the early days was illegal. It's just that no one wanted to arrest me because it looked sweet and cute. So because I didn't have a spray can in my hand and I had knitting, they were like, oh, well, what, you know. Maybe they could be very bored. They would probably have like legitimate reasons to arrest me because I'm just putting something on the urban furniture in any urban environment that is unsanctioned without permission. Therefore, it is illegal.
And what kind of reaction do you usually receive as a result of your work?
Well, I must say it's mostly positive. If it was mostly negative, I don't know if I would be doing it. I don't have time to do something that's just because I want to piss people off. It's because it's the probably the biggest driving force is that I'm getting acknowledged for these accomplishments that I'm making, even if they're small, even if it's, you know, just something very little in their environment, or something big like this building. All of it's really good. It doesn't matter the size. I'm just happy people like it. And if people don't like it, I think it's interesting still, because I think with anything there has to be some negative reaction. Otherwise, it's boring.
Tell us about Knitta Please. Where did you get the inspiration about this project?
I think that what we were going for in the early days was this idea that we were creating a knitting circle, but we weren't doing things like making baby blankets or baby socks or pullovers for children. We were being renegade and subversive and badass. So we felt like we wanted to do something that was a little more, like had more of an edge to it. So that's why we decided that we were a crew, and we had names, like my name was Polly Cotton, and there was many other names like Acrylic and Pearl Necklace, and it was very, very fun and silly at the same time. And we felt like we needed a name for our crew, so that's how we came up with Knitta Please. It means something very positive to us. It's kind of our slogan, or it was our slogan.
What is the biggest project you have ever done, and how long did it take before it was finished?
Oh, wow. I think the bus in Mexico City was definitely the biggest project when I really did not have the resources the way I do now. The bus in Mexico City was me bringing a bunch of plastic bags to Mexico City and just hoping I could make it happen. And in 4 days, we had a group of 4 to 6 people that helped out. And by the end of 4 days, it turned into this beautiful bus that really is the big highlight of my career. But this one is really making me happy. It may not be large scale, but the fact that I had this building, it's probably the largest piece of like a blank canvas that I've ever had. And to do something to embellish it in sort of a respectful way was important to me. And so I'm very proud of this one, actually.
Can you name 3 adjectives to describe Magda's yarn?
My yarn. Well, a lot of people know me for the shocking pink that I use, but I've been trying to get away from that. I don't know. I think that the yarn I love to use ugly colors and then make them pop. So you pick out the most unpopular color, like make it mustard yellow or beige or, you know, some bad soft pink. And to me, a fun challenge is to make those colors shine and make them beautiful. And I think that there's many times that we've achieved that.
Which is the place where you love to knit?
Oh, I love to knit on my couch with my children watching bad movies. Absolutely. The most ideal place.
And there are any current artists or art movements that you like?
Well, I live in the world of street art, so always there's people in this world that I absolutely love. I love what Gier is doing down the street, and it's amazing what he's done. His body of work is amazing. I'll always credit Barry McGee for being one of my biggest inspirations for seeing that graffiti doesn't have to just be your name spray painted over a freeway. It also can be like very interesting pieces, and he's actually that was my first piece of artwork that I bought was a piece that he did. I love Margaret Kilgallen. She's passed away, but she's amazing. I think again, like people that have question the assumptions of graffiti are interesting to me. But I also think that some of the traditional artists are amazing. Christian Marclay blows my mind. I'm always happy to see what he's done. I love Jeff Koons, even though he's been around for a while. How interesting is it? I mean, if you think about the first time you saw a giant blown up balloon toy that was larger than life in a museum, that definitely raises certain emotions that are nostalgic and usually very positive. And I think that there's a couple of young artists that I really like. I think Augustine Woodgate is great. She does these amazing patchwork pieces with teddy bears that she finds. So she just splays them out the way that a hunter would and pieces them together and makes beautiful things. I think that Mark Flood, who's from my hometown, is amazing. He uses lace for his pieces. I think, I don't know, I should probably stop there. But yeah, there's definitely a list of people that I love. But yeah, I'll stop there.